What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB. Once again, wow. I got some. Listen, we talk about diabolicalness on this channel quite a lot, but listen, man, I got some of them. This out of 10. This is the 10-10. This ain't the Moody Pub Grub. This is the 10 out of 10. Just landed off Dan the Man Kinahan's boat. Literally, diabolicalism. That's what news I got for the masses, the great and washed, right now, regarding Joseph Parker and his... Who is that? Pinging my line off, man. What time is it? Oh, it is Friday evening. We are getting into Friday evening, folks, to be fair, man. The streets are starving right now. The streets are starving, man. The cats need their food, man. What can I say? But listen, let's move on. Joseph Parker. Is that you, Joseph Parker, ringing my line off on a Friday evening, afternoon? I think it probably is, to be fair, based on this news. He's been on my line. Anyway, let's read the title out. Joseph Parker has just been found positive for La Coca, aka the Pablo Escobar, aka the El Chapitos Guzman. Yeah? I'll read it properly again. Wait, one more time. Joseph Parker reportedly tested positive for La Cocaine. Okay? In a Vada PED test taken on the day of his defeat to Fabio Maximus Fabius Wardlenius. Yeah? Two sources close to the situation have conveyed their dismay to the ring at the findings. Never mind the dismay for the findings. How about the dismay that Parker was on the packet on fight day? Let's talk about that dismay, man. Listen. Yeah? I think Joseph Parker needs to get him abroad like Ebony Bridges. But statistically speaking, man, she's sorted his head out. Look at Kell Brook, right? Joseph Parker, man. Go on to OnlyFans. Find yourself a ting and sort your head out, man. Even Kel wasn't on the packet on fight day. Yeah? Now, listen, I like to believe, to be fair, that I can't believe someone will be so stupid on fight day. But I mean, if you're a fiend, you're a fiend. It's a Saturday as well. Fiend, listen, there's different calibers of fiend, right? There's like a Monday to Sunday fiend, 24 hours a day. And then you've got the weekend cats. They must, listen, if they ain't got packet Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night / Sunday morning, it's not working for them. And that's, I think, what Joseph Parker is. Yeah? Even though he's fighting on Saturday, and there's been research into this, you have situational withdrawals. Yeah? If you're always caning the weekend, you can be alright Monday to Thursday, but when that Thursday evening comes, yeah, you start knitting out. You start fiending for whatever you're fiending for. Yeah, I know, man, who can go Monday to Thursday, no liquor, right? No moody moonshine, no hooch. But then come Thursday, Friday, they gots to have some hooch, man. They gots to, and that's Parker. That's your man's Parker, man. He needed his. That's what he did. He couldn't, never mind no fight. He needed his packet. That's what this shows, man. Now, is it possible? I mean, if Tyson Fury was in the cut, bearing in mind how sensitive these tests are, right? Tyson Fury only has to breathe in your face. In fact, he only has to look your way, and you probably pop positive, to be fair. Because, come on, yeah? The amount of patter he's on. You see that one there? Yeah? The amount of patter he consumes, just in the vicinity of him, right? The visual light rays that come out of his eyes when he looks at you. Yeah? You just have to look at him and you're like, you know, man. Especially the gear he's allegedly getting, Tyson. Right, he get fresh from wherever Dan the Man flew it in from. Peru, I assume. I think Peru is where Dan gets it from, allegedly. Peru, Bolivia. They got some. Colombia's a bit washed up, but Peru and Bolivia, man, they're doing the most. Colombia's too hot, man. Yeah, but Peru's the one, man. Them little sneaky ones, Bolivian ting. You see that one there? That's what Dan the Man be legistifying into Tyson Fury. And as a result, when you're still getting that old school Pablo Escobar, it's strong. Yeah? And if your name's Joe Blow and you're going to a pub and there's some moody geezer in the toilet, you're not in this conversation, man. I could kiss you, and it's not going to do nothing for no test, man. But just looking at Tyson Fury, and he's loaded as well, right? He's just all packet. That's what Tyson Fury is. You see him in interviews the other day. I saw him in an interview the other day, yeah, and he's sweating. He's like, I haven't done a video on it, but he's like, absolutely off his chops. So I'm not sure, right? I'd like to believe that Parker, no one can be that stupid. I don't know. We need to see the chronology of, because Vada tests, I don't know, maybe on average once a week. So was he clean a week before? Right, maybe they tested him on the Monday. But then again, I think it stays in your system for about a week or two. For these sports tests, these aren't the normal ones. Right, if you've got a job and they test you, the Vada ones is proper deep. Listen, John Jones was hiding under the ring to avoid the testing, but he talked about picograms, right? If you're doing some moody job and you get randomly tested, it's not going to be as integral, or it's not going to have the same integrity as a Vada test. So we can't necessarily... Either way, man, he on packet sometime. Professional athlete. It weren't 6 months ago he was on the packet, or 4 months ago he was caned in it. He must have been caned in it regardless, right? He's either been kissing Tyson Fury, or he's been caned in the packet within the last month before his fight. Fact. And I assume, actually, though, Vada definitely would have tested within the 2 weeks before. So he's been on the packet in between fight day and 2 weeks before. He's been caned in it. I've never seen that. I see something. I can't say that about Joe Parker. Honestly, you never see him buzzing. You never see him off his chops. In fact, even when he's at fights, I never see him really with shades on, just posted up. Trying to... Look, is he Turkey? Come on, man. You see Turkey. Turkey all got the shades on, but he know what time it is, man. He know what time it is, man. But Joe Parker's just that... normal, or maybe he hides it well, right? Maybe he's like some of them corporate man, yeah, who hide the bungle they've got up their nose. Maybe that's possible too, yeah. He's got that corporate, he's like that. I don't know, he's making funny videos. I wouldn't say, honestly, of all the people to pop for La Pablo Escobar, it wouldn't have been Joe Parker. It would have been, honestly, he'd be very close to the bottom of the list of all the people. I'd be less shocked. I don't know, let's pick someone. I think I'd be more likely that Usyk was on it. You see how he's dancing? If you told me Usyk loves a bungle, right? If you told me Alexander Usyk loves a bungle, I wouldn't sit here and say, no, you're lying. Parker's literally the guy I'd pick not to be into that. Anyway, let's now read this thing out. This is the Ring Magazine's full report. Okay, Parker failed test for La Pablo Escobar on the day of his 11th round stoppage. The 33-year-old was tested by Vada, and the adverse analytical finding was revealed on Friday morning, per the report in The Sun. Two sources, okay, blah blah. A and B sample rubbish, man. Again, I don't know what he's been doing, man. I'd like to say the tests are too strict, and maybe did he drink from a glass that one of his friends... You know what I mean? I'd like to think that. I just can't imagine it, honestly. But again, you don't know. I didn't know Kell Brook was caned in the packet either. Here's another one, really. You see Kell, you don't see a sniff fiend until it came out. We was all like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. And Kell would be... I've never seen him bugging either, to be fair. Right? He seemed quite straight up and down. Yeah, although a lot of the Sheffield man, they love the packet, to be fair. Yeah, we talked about this before. What was it? The disenfranchised coal miner type cats. Them man love the packet. That's all they got left. They got there's no jobs up there or industry anymore. So all they got is packet and liquor. That's the truth. So that's what it is for a lot of the northern man. So maybe he's more likely than... Joe Parker lives in New Zealand, doesn't he? It's hard to get... Yeah, it's proper expensive over there. It's really hard to get in there. I think the price, even more than the States, the prices in New Zealand or Australia are really high. Their borders are quite closed off. They don't have a Mexico who bringing it in loose as a goose. It's the most expensive place in the world for gear, so it should be prohibitively expensive. But obviously he's a multi-millionaire Although he'd have been on it in the UK, right? I'm sure he's in Ireland with... Oh, he's in Ireland. Oh, no. He's in Ireland. Yeah? With Andy Lee, Mr. MTK himself. Right? Let's call a spade here. I'm sure Andy Lee was hanging at the back of MTK and whatnot. So he's got the links there, man. He's got the Kinahan, Pure, Dublin, wherever he's from, links. Right? I think I've heard from people close to the situation, allegedly. Tyson Fury, Conor McSniff, and Joe Parker. Those are the dangerous trio. The dangerous Irish trio, man. Yeah, that's what I've heard now. So he's in that fold. And I always wondered, Tyson Fury's like, yeah, Joe's my best mate. Well, let me tell you something about sniffheads. Yeah? You'll never meet a sniffhead whose best mate is not. You see what I mean? A notorious sniffhead, his best mate isn't a square blow Joe. Joe Blow. It's not. It's definitely not. Right? Because that's where you bond. Who's getting the packet? Who's got the packet? Bosh. Who's coming to the toilet? Bosh. You see what I mean? It's one of them ones. So that the story's starting to add up a little bit now. Why would Joe Parker be best friends with a messy, drunk sniff fiend? Oops. Right? And Joe holds it down better, but at the end of the day, he'll have a packet or two. That's what this shows, man. And each to their own, obviously, man. That's between him and his God at the end of the day. And I bet his missus is going to be on his neck now. He's been hiding it well. I think Joe's like Jack Kell. He's been hiding. No one would have known, right? I think Joe been hiding. This is probably the best thing for Joe. Yeah, this is the best thing for Joe. Everyone knows now. You love the sniff. You love the packet. And your people around him can... Let's not come out here. Listen, let me tell you now. A lot of the team... Oh, no, well, we're really disgruntled that this has come out. Well, no. What you need to do is say, Joe. Yeah? Joe. Okay? Your circle. He's no good, Tyson Fury. He's no good. He's retired, and even if he wasn't retired, he's no good, man. He loved liquor. He loved Pablo Escobar. Okay? You're an active athlete. You ain't Tyson Fury. And look at him. 400 pounds. Can't punch. No legs left. Where do you think the legs went? The neurological implications of the purity and the quantity of Bolivia's finest is what happened to Tyson Fury's leg. Plus everything else he was on. Right? The Moody Yippo Moonshine. Yeah? He loved brass. I mean, this is documented. Brass will make your legs weak. Tyson Fury, he been in the brass, man. That's what he been doing. He loved them all. Any vice you got going. Never mind no Jesus that he talks about. Any vice you've got... Gambling, though. Maybe he don't happen to gamble in one. But who knows what he doing. Anyway, let's read the rest of this thing out. The Vada will now hand over their findings to UKAD and the British Board of Boxing Control, who oversee doping and punish offenders. Although La Cocaina is a recreational thing, the Kiwi could potentially face a 2-year suspension. What are my thoughts on this? Well, at the end of the day, man, you can't be tweaking in a fight. That's not... It can be performance enhancing. That's why they ban painkillers. It's like the opposite of it. If you came in there geeked off the oxys, right, you ain't going to feel the same. Wouldn't be advisable, but still, we can't estimate the benefit or disadvantage. You see what I mean? So it's best just to be clean. If you're in there geek, some man... Have you seen them cats who get arrested in the States? Just caning the Breaking Bad. Caning the crank, the moody crank, right? Caning it. And they're like, this is like 10 man deep and they got the crank strength. That's the point I'm making. And obviously, La Pablo Escobar, that's not as strong as the crank, but it's all the same thing. You know what I mean? That's probably why he ran out of gas as well. He started hot, yeah, because he's... You see what I mean? Parker started strong because he's geeked off the Kinahan import, and then he faded because it don't last long, does it? 5-6 rounds, and that's what we saw. He was puffing after 5-6 rounds. He needed another bump. I need to watch back the corner work from Andy Lee. I think he might have had. Never mind Usyk's Jesus piece. Remember that was the allegation. Usyk was inhaling someone off his Jesus piece. That's what they said. Never mind that. Right? What was Andy Lee allegedly or possibly, speculatively supplying to Joseph Parker during the fight, man? I don't think he had nothing though, because he fell off bad. Andy Lee didn't bring the packet, man. And if Joseph Parker leaves, Andy Lee will know why, right? Because he'll be saying, hey man, where the packet at? You know I need a bump. You know I need a bump after 6 rounds, bro. You know what I'm like. I can't do more than 6 rounds without a bump. And I remember hearing a funny story about Ricky Hatton. Who was it? I think it might have been Domingo. Domingo was saying that Ricky was training his son, and in between rounds, or maybe Ricky was training himself, I'm not sure, but it was some one of the two. Either Ricky's training someone or Ricky was training himself. And after every round, he was having a beer and then get back in, and Don Ingle said, "How many rounds you got left?" And apparently Ricky Hatton said, "Oh, well, I've got 3 beers left, so I reckon it'll be about 6 rounds," kind of thing. That was the underlying theme. But listen, Joseph Parker is exactly the same, man. He needs his bump, man. His legs don't work without the bump. All right. A Queensberry statement read, "The voluntary Vada last night informed all required parties that Joseph Parker returned an adverse finding following anti-doping on the 25th. While the matter is investigated further, no additional comment will be made at this time." All right, now, and shout out to the Donnies out there who put me on to this leaked info. Yeah. Because you ain't seen this one before, that's what you best believe you haven't seen. I didn't even know this. It must have got hushed up. Crazy. But peep this one here. Joseph Parker was implicated in a Breaking Bad conspiracy. Here we go. Joseph Parker is now revealed. This is 2021. Joseph Parker is revealed as the high-profile sportsman who lost 2-year name suppression fight. That's not. Why would you title it that? That's a dead title. But this is the story. Here we go. International boxing star Joseph Parker can now be named as the high-profile sportsman allegedly connected to a global narco-trafficante syndicate. Parker was named during the trial of a trio found guilty of importing the Breaking Bad from California at the High Court in Auckland, 2019. Where were they importing it from? They importing it from? Who imports crank from California? That's what I'm saying, though. You see how crazy that sounds? You're taking it. Auckland's in New Zealand. Imagine that. Imagine taking gear from California where it's to New Zealand. That shows you how expensive it is in New Zealand. Because it's already, by the time, the premium from Mexico to California is massive, right? However, I'm not an expert, but let's say it's 10 large in Mexico. It's like 100 large or 80 large in California. Just that little, that's the risk, right? You got the moody Mexicans paid off. That traveling there, that's where all the value's created. So to take gear at, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 a kilo to Auckland, I think I've heard of, it's like 150, 200 large over there for that. I'm just making numbers up, but that's the point I'm making. Because when have you heard of that? When have you heard of someone importing things, the bits, the food, the weights from California? That is normally the destination. Yeah. If I was setting up a little coup, right? If I was setting up a coup d'etat, yeah, I'll be looking to get to California, man. That's the promised land. Given the choice, London or California, I'd make it land in California because people in London ain't making no money like that. Not like that. Not en masse, right? You got random man making 200 bags in California. Obviously, there'll be some random man in London, but the States is a different level, man. There's no money in the UK really like that. Anyway, it goes on. Although Parker was the subject of police interest, authorities did not speak to him, did not execute a search warrant, and never charged him. Parker has denied any involvement or the purchase, supply, or consumption of the moody Breaking Bad. He also denied being involved in changing or transporting money for the 3 men. In 2017, so this goes back a while, but when did AJ and Parker fight? What year was that? AJ becomes champion in 2016. He must have fought Parker around 2019, so yeah, he weren't even on like that yet. Was it 2019 or 2018? It was around there. He fights Vlad in 2017, and then Parker was around, let's call it 2018. So Parker wasn't on like that. He probably had a mil or two to his name, tops, maybe. After taxes, maybe had a mil to his net worth, which ain't bad. But if someone comes to you with something, and these men sound like the Samoans as well, yeah. They sound like the Samoans, so they ain't good for nothing. I'm playing, but they ain't good for nothing, man. They ain't got no money, man. They're trying to hit licks here and there, man. They ain't got no money like that, man. They're trying to come up. It's like if I hear 3 black names, if I hear Tashawn, right? If I hear a fight is involved in or is linked to a conspiracy with Deshawn and Tavon, I know they did something wrong. Just off the rip, man. They up to no good, man. They ain't on nothing. They up to no. Let me read the names out, man. Yeah, Tavita Fangupo. He up to no good. I'm telling you right now, right? He up to no. He's Samoan. He up to no good. That's what he up to, man. Yeah. Tavita Kalulu. He up to no good too, man. Let's call a spade here. Tony Finau. He up to no good. None of these names, man. They sound too colourful. He up to no good. Prejudicially speaking. Anyway, them 3 Samoan cats imported large amounts of the Breaking Bad, disguised in Nike shoes and clothing declared as gifts. Kalulu was jailed for 18 years. Oh my God. It's not worth it. Seriously, it's not worth it. Just get a normal job. It's not even that bad. Honestly. You ain't going to be balling, but you ain't going to be getting your dinner pushed in by Debo either, right? Or even if you're not, I don't think a lot of that goes down anymore. I don't think a lot of men who don't want to get popped, but still, I don't want to be in a stinky room with bare man. I'd rather just be broke and take my chances, to be fair. It's not, honestly, seriously, it's not worth it, man. It's really not. And you got to be looking over your shoulder, and I don't see the upside myself. Just get off your ass, yeah, and take a dead little job and have a dead little life. Because what you can do, be in jail with bare man for 20 years. How is that cool? Or you think, oh, I'm going to be the one that gets away with it. Well, how many of them are there? And there are some, man, and fair play to them. But the risk, especially these days with all the cameras and that, it's an accident waiting to happen. Yeah? The filth. And to be fair, even morally, I don't even think it's right, profiting off. Listen, there's recreational uses for a lot, but then again, maybe there's not. If you're selling the dark and the rock, or even the crank, no one's doing that recreationally, I wouldn't have thought. Not for long anyway, right? I mean, some man might hit one lick of the rock and be sweet, but statistically speaking, how many people do you think hit one lick of the rock and then put it down, and or they have it once a week? It's probably not, because they're selling things that are, I guess you could argue the same with alcohol, but alcohol ain't that addictive though. It can be for certain man, but not everyone, right, who touch it fall off bad. So morally speaking, it ain't really right. And even for your own self-interest, where's the upside, really? You're going to be the 1 in a million who gets lucky every time. Because the filth only have to get lucky once. You could hit 1,000 licks, and on your 1,000th from one time, your door comes in, and it's like, oh my God, 20 years. And most of these men are middle-aged. You're getting out at 50. You're finished. You're finished at 50. You're finished, man. I'm going to call it a spade. You're finished if you've been living that life. Because now you really are dusty. Your missus is gone. Your kids are 20 years old. You've got no job and no prospects. What you going to do, get back into it and be 75 when you get out, if at all? Because normally, once you get caught up once, they let you off a little bit. And the next time the book comes, they throw the book even harder. And even if they said, oh, it's only 10, I don't want to be in jail for 10 years, man. Sorry, I don't want to be in jail for 10 years, man. I'm not interested in sitting in some dusty room. It's cold in there apparently as well. I don't know if the regulations have probably changed, but I remember one guy telling me he was freezing every night. No, that's not for me, man. I'll do my little moody job. Yeah, I'll put my little moody heating on. I'll be sweet. I'll be okay. I don't need to be a boss. What? Buy a big car, right? What's that gonna do, man? What? Buy a big car for what? To impress some EFOTs or whoever, you know what I mean? If a woman is impressed by designers, and it sounds, listen, obviously, right? Well, you're broke, YB, so you're gonna say that, but seriously, yeah. If a chick is fiending for Chanel, she's low IQ and low energy, man. It's a moody bag with a moody... And I've done it myself, I ain't gonna lie. I've been there. But I'd look back now and say, that's moody, man. It's a moody little bag with a moody little G on it, or whatever it's got. Oh, I've got a moody bag with a moody label on it. Look how big my cock is. Essentially, that's what it is, man. To what end? Right? You could just get a normal job. And times are getting harder, though. the prospects of buying a house with a normal job is they're waning. But still, I ain't going. Listen, if you could do it and not go jail for 10, 20 years, then maybe. But no, on balance of what we know, it's just not. There's no upside here. Anyway, during the High Court trial, Parker was refused name suppression, but that was challenged all the way to the country's highest court. The judgment released yesterday, the Supreme Court said although naming Parker would cause him undue hardship, the principles of open justice outweighed that. In the present case, there is no dispute that publication would cause okay, blah 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 blah. Anyway, so he's been implicated in that. So it shows he's messing with the Moody Samoans. So he's in that. I don't know what he was doing with them. He wasn't charged. He wasn't investigated. So is it just friendly fire or whatever? I don't know what it was, to be fair. But either way, it sets the scene, sets the narrative at the very least. He ain't as square or as clean as I and most of you probably assume. Joe Parker's a nice guy. Joe Parker deserves a shot. Even when his news came out, there was some corny cats in the comments saying, "Oh, well, Joe Parker should have had his shot years ago." I'm thinking, what the fuck? What's that got to do with him putting the chang up his nose? I don't get that. People are still, even after getting knocked out by Wardley, despite being on the packet, they're still saying, "Oh, he should have had his shot years ago." I swear. Let me see if I can find it. I couldn't believe it when I read it. Where is it? Where is the one? Here we go. Look at this idiot here. Nah, you're not an idiot. You just whatever. But there's this guy. I feel for Parker. He should have had a title fight years ago. What are you guys? I think these men get their narratives from like the DAZN sexualites, because they all say, "Oh, Parker getting me shot." Well, who gives? He got knocked out, man. Why are you still talking? Oh, he should have had it years ago. Usyk would have boxed him up. Shot for what? Caballero needs his shot. Usyk might box him up too. I'm not convinced on that anymore. I'll bet on Caballero on principle, but still, Parker had no shot, never, of beating Usyk. So forget about Parker. And besides, Caballero's turned me off. He's fighting some weapon in Germany, man. It's just a bit dead. I don't know why you're doing that. You're on a generational run and you're fighting a plumber. You fight. That's what Tommy Caballero's fighting someone Tommy Fury would fight. It's like, what are you doing, bro? You was up there. You've had a year off and you're coming back to that. You fell off. You went to your head. Whatever you know what I mean? It's kind of gone to his head a little bit. Anyway, I'm out of here, folks. Let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe. I did a video yesterday, right, exposing Porky Corner. He got one of my videos removed. Let me see if I still got the link here. No, I've closed it. But he got one of my videos removed because I was airing his ass out and he reported it for harassment. So if you want to watch that video, unfortunately, I'm about to paywall your ass, man. But it's one of them ones. If you want to watch the video that got banned by the pork, you must click this button right here. I'm out of here. And I'll catch you, man, on the flip. Johnny. Bosh.